which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
The human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted Kever's voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KEAVERSVOICE.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
What up? Welcome to Random Thoughts with DVP. Y'all know who it is. It's your boy DVP. Today is, what's the day? Today is the 13th of May, 2020. And we about to get it crack-a-lacking in here. I want to just, first of all, say thank y'all and welcome to the show. I'm on JBN with my super producer, the quiet ninja, Roy. Doing his thing with his alphabet shirt on, but he ain't part of the FBI and nothing like that. I ain't sure what them symbols say.
This is the Phi Beta Sigma, not the FBI.
They the ABC squad.
Nah, this ain't the FBI. This is the Phi Beta Sigma in the building, baby. Yeah.
Same thing. The feds is the feds. All right, so today I hope y'all doing good. It's been a punishing few days with everything that's going on, and I just want to say, don't get it twisted. I'm going to keep the informational shows coming to you, and I am going to still do some more videos about all the stuff that's going on. But, I don't want to be CNN. I don't want everything to be gloomy. So we're going to still have some fun and talk about some other stuff from time to time. And today, the serious portion of the show, we're going to talk briefly about your vote. And then we're going to get into this prenup that we never got into last week. And what's my third subject, super producer?
I don't know. You never told me.
And that's what I said. I put it in the title, but then I forgot to write it down.
And
I don't know how to see it no more.
Yeah, hold on. No, I can see it. Give me a second. Perceptions.
Okay, and perception. So, it's gonna be the PPP show, but I changed polling to voting just so y'all could understand a little bit better. Alright, so with everything that's going on, that's a nice little backdrop for me, because what I want y'all to understand is, with everything that's going on, this is not a racial issue. This is a power issue, and we always talk about where our power is and where it ain't. And I'm gonna keep telling y'all, our power is in voting. Period. This is the time to vote. I don't think it's time for the mayoral election. Unfortunately, that's in 2 more years. But it's time for the most of the city leaders to be reelected, and you got to pay attention to what they are not doing. Same thing with judges, same things with DAs, all of that. This is that time where you can get out and be heard. They want your vote. You can always tell, because church is closed right now, but that's when they start having all these visitors. Everybody want to come in and tell you why you should vote for somebody and how they got your community. They got your community's best interests at heart. This is the time to get them to put their money where their mouth is, and if they don't, hold them accountable. We can't just keep mindlessly voting Republican, Democrat, whatever it is you vote. I ain't here to tell you how to vote. Just know why you voting, and I'm gonna stick with voting should be almost like the relationship rule. At least your candidate should at least be trying to support. You should believe in 80% of what they saying. You ain't gonna never like nobody 100%. But and we're gonna do a show on this just to update some of y'all. When we talk about preferences and priorities, make sure that 80% of your priorities are being met. All right, your preferences, they are what they are. They're negotiable. but your priorities, those are things that's got to be met. Don't give that away in the name of nothing else. Don't give it away for Roy. Don't give it away for DVP. Vote your conscience. Unfortunately, we don't all have the same mindset. We don't all want the same things. So there are candidates that you may not like, and you may have a great reason for it. But the candidates you don't like may work for me. And we got to stop trying to strong arm everybody into thinking that that's what they got to do. It's, we ain't all the same. That's all I'm going to say. And whether it comes down to voting or the different things we do, how we drink, how we date, how we do other stuff, everybody got a different personality. Vote what works best for you and go from there. But get out and vote. Quit complaining if you ain't going to vote. And that's pretty much all I really want to talk about with the voting.
Well, hold on. Let me make a comment on the voting thing, too, that you're talking about. Because right now, all those people, pretty much everybody involved with the Ahmaud Arbery case are people who are elected. It's the same thing with
except for the police officers.
Except for the police officers, right. Now, I'm not talking about them, but all the people who have been making statements about why things haven't or did happen the way that they did, all those people are elected officials. And these are the types of things where these elected officials really make a difference, and why voting, especially in the local sense, is so important to people, because they just don't know. They don't realize that those people in those communities those are the ones that make the laws that affect you every day. So
right. And you need to pay more attention to what's going on at home than you are what's going on in other places. Don't get it twisted. You need to vote in the national election, but it's mandatory that you vote in the local elections. Your schools, your streets, what goes on there, those are the things that affect you on a day-to-day basis. Some of the things in the White House don't affect you like that, but know what's going on. What's up, B? B says vote Biden, and it is what it is, and I believe in that. But unfortunately, we can't deny that some people are pro-Trump. If that's what you like, I ain't finna get into why you would do it, but do what your heart tell you to do. But vote. Not voting has cost us quite a bit, and we can't just sit back and say it's a black thing, because we saw on the TV shows prior to the election, a lot of blacks were supporting 45. A lot of blacks are still supporting 45. All blacks don't have the same agenda, and we gotta quit thinking that we all gotta agree on the same thing, or we destroying each other. We not. Everybody's gonna have a different opinion. I ain't gotta like your opinion, but it's yours. But get your people out to vote. If you don't do nothing else, hey, drive some people to vote. With this coronavirus coming up, they sending out a lot of absentee ballots. Make sure that people are filling these out so they can get these they can get the voter registration stuff mailed to them if they can't get out. There's no excuse. The only semi-decent excuse you got for voting now is if you're homeless and you don't have nowhere for them to send the ballot. But that's pretty much it. We have got to get out and vote. Not voting says one or two things. You still don't care, or you cool what's going on, and you just don't care about more of that. But we got to stop picking dumb fights about and don't get it twisted. I can say this because it's my show. I'm gonna vote Biden, but understand some of the reasons people talk about now not to vote Biden. Oh, we need a better candidate. Well, you should have thought about that 12 to 18 months ago. This ain't the time to start talking about what we need. We saw what was going on. We've been seeing what was going on. So if you didn't come up with something then, don't come up with stuff at the last minute and start talking about what we need to do. The election is right around the corner. We have got to get out and do what we got to do. What's up, April? And it's true. Don't care who you vote for, but make your vote count, and don't sit back and say you didn't vote. Get it in. Everybody ain't got to like what you do, because your life is your life. And we ain't going to all have the same priorities. Some people care more about elderly people. Some people care more about money. Some people care more about finance. That's money. Some people care more about different stuff. But get out there and vote and start reading. I got some friends who are staunch Republicans. But you know what they do? They good source of information, because they will put bills out for you to read. And the better ones don't give their interpretation. They just put them there for you to read. And you can see how the arguments go on their page of people who start saying stuff. Read. What's this B say? Find out the laws on your state for absentee ballots. Many states have deadlines. Right. And You can get the absentee ballots. I know in Georgia, they mailing out the forms to us so we can get them. They mailing out all the paperwork so we can get them. It ain't even something you had to ask for. They mailing you they mailing us the absentee stuff out just like that. So not voting is akin to being complicit to a crime. So get out there, vote. Join some of these groups on Facebook that talk about voting. Learn, listen to people's arguments. I mean, unfortunately, there are some good arguments, pros and cons when we argue little minute points. Again, you have to prioritize preferences and priorities. What's important to you? You know, how important is schooling to you? How important is maintaining roads? How important is healthcare? You got to know what's important to you, and we can't just keep voting blindly, especially in the local elections. Just because somebody is of your party don't mean that they're a good candidate. We got to pay attention to who has screwed us over, and to me, that's more of a bigger issue. Who screwed us over versus who's doing good for us. Barbara, you know you're on the wrong page. Come to random thoughts. Stop playing. And that's how we do it. Because everybody will, as Ariel said, everybody will be impacted. Voters and non-voters. So, you know, don't just not do it hoping for the best. That's just not the way it goes. All right. Read to see how judges have been handling cases. This is one of the few things that absolutely drives me bananas. There are lots of places with bad district attorneys. District attorneys are elected officials. All the ADAs or the other public defenders, not public defenders, but other district attorneys, they work for one guy, one man, one woman. This person controls how they handle business. Pay attention. Vote for them. If you got a problem with your police department, police chiefs are not elected. They're appointed by the mayor, who is elected. Okay? Control that narrative. The sheriff is an elected official. Control the narrative. If you don't like the way law enforcement is in your neighborhood, there's something you can do about it, and it's called VOTING. Stop being scared of their process and make it happen, Captain. Because we're giving away way too much for the wrongest of reasons, and it makes no sense. And people say, well, I didn't know. Why do you know? Between all these smartphones, between all these different shows, between all these Facebook groups, one of the things that I started doing is I watch CNN. I watch MSNBC. I will even watch Fox News from time to time. You need to know what's being said and understand why some things are said. And one of the greatest things I like about some of the CNN stuff is I like a couple of guys who do the fact checks. Because for the most part, they will tell you when it's not a lie, it's just misunderstood. And that's one of the few things I like. And it's funny because even 45 is turning now against Fox News, which used to be his bosom buddy. He don't even claim them like he used to. I see my co-host jumped in here. Is he ready to be shown yet, or he still back there playing, Roy?
Man, I'm up in here, man. What's going on?
He got his blood curtain behind him, even though he's from Chicago. I don't know what's going on with that, but
it's all red behind you. Look like to me too, bro.
Mine is Patriot red, so mine different, bro. That's different. Patriot
red. Mine is Chicago Bulls red.
Okay, I'm gonna let you have that. Oh, you trying to live in the?
Look.
So, hey, for those y'all who, you know, he ain't been around for a minute because we've been doing our thing. He's slowing down. He's stuck in the house. Look like, oh, was that some blue I saw, bro? Was that some blue?
Man, to you, baby. You know how we do it. I got to roll with my partner.
All right, that's what's up. Mr. 976 is in the house.
I ain't no bartender, but guess how I got it blue? Yeah.
I don't even want to know you because I got to work. Mine ain't.
See, look at you, man. Come on, man.
Hey, Lee said hello to you.
Hello, Lee. How you doing?
And so the cinnamon. Hold on, I don't be getting them kind of hellos. What's really going on? Don't make me start putting people off my show.
They just trying to be sweet to me. You already the man.
Hey, and again, for those of y'all who watching on my personal page, there's a link I need for you to click on, and it'll bring you right to the show page where you can be part of the conversation. All right, sis, I need for you to come on over here. Ty Marie, come on over here. So y'all just come on, hit that link, and bring you right to the conversation. All right, so right now we're talking about the importance of voting, getting out there and making your vote count. I'm going to say this, and y'all got to understand this. If you don't understand nothing else I tell you, whether you like me or not, if voting wasn't important, they wouldn't put so much effort for us not to vote. They wouldn't put so much into taking our vote from us. They can't stop it. The system will work for us. You know, and people always say, oh, no, our vote don't matter. But it does. But once they get you to say that, yeah, you're on the right page, Tim. Once they get you to say that, half the battle is won because you ain't going to do nothing. You ain't going to do nothing. They done talked you into not voting because, oh, your one vote don't count. Well, you know how you get the $10? You got to get that first dollar. If you don't get that first dollar, 10 ain't coming. So you got to get there because there are other people like you. And, like I was saying to somebody before, no matter how you feel about the whole situation, in Georgia, over 50% of blacks didn't vote. So don't get mad about what Brian Kemp is doing. We had a chance to elect Stacey Abrams. We did not vote for Kemp. We just didn't vote for her. That is a problem. 50% of us didn't vote. And now you mad about some things. You saying, you think somebody don't care for you or whatever. That's your own personal issue, because when you had a chance to go out there, when you had a chance to be heard, if out of that 50% that didn't vote, if 20% would have voted for her, she would be in there. So
that's a crazy stat, D. That's a crazy stat in the way we call the chocolate city, and where we talk about how much blacks prosper in Atlanta and how much is going on in Atlanta, how much we could do. Think about how much more we could do. I bet nobody else really realizes that stats with all the black folks and with Stacey Abrams running out of Atlanta. I bet people don't really know that 50% of us didn't go, but that's a lack of knowledge that we got to keep up on. But if each person does it and takes care of their household, their surroundings, their neighbors, if there's an older person, take them to the polls. You know what I'm saying? People fought and died for our right to vote. But I'm just astonished, and it's crazy that in Atlanta, 50% of us didn't vote. That's bananas, bro.
Well, and I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. 50% of us in Georgia didn't vote.
Okay, Georgia.
So,
okay.
But the bulk of that is still Atlanta.
It's still Atlanta, right?
Yeah. And that's a problem. And
it's a big problem.
It ain't for lack of having a place to vote, because Georgia had a ton of voting places. I don't know about some other places. I heard where they was closing down places to keep us from voting. But in the metro area, shit, they had voting polls like Bank of America and Waffle House. You could vote out. Hell, they had some that was in walking distance from each other. So there was no reason for us not to get out and vote. I hate to bring it up, but for all the crap we did to get these shoes, everybody was posting them how we were standing line for them shoes, and voting. For most people, voting took less than 10 minutes. I mean, we talking about from the time you got out the car to the time you got back in the car. Your longest wait was walking to the polling place, because once you got in, very few of them were crowded, because they started letting you vote almost, I want to say, 45 to 90 days ahead of time. So you didn't even have to wait till the last minute to vote, because I don't even do that no more. Once they start letting you vote way ahead of time,
I'm going early.
I'm jumping on voting in, I want to say, what was it, August or whatever, when they let us do it. I was out there doing it. Me and my mom, we out there doing it.
Beat the crowd. Why you want to beat the crowds? Because that's what gets discouraged. We wait to the last minute and the line's out the door, and then nobody wants to stand in line. If you go early, knock it out. The same time you get off work the day of voting is the same time you get off work 3 weeks before, and you could have knocked that out 3 weeks ahead of time.
And Area is on her thing. She's like complacent to Harriet Tubman with a shot their asses. I don't know, you gotta be so violent, Area. We're trying to get through this is the nice portion of the show. When we get the prenup, then you break out the shotgun. But let's start off with nonviolent social change, Area. I just can't. I can't with you. Hey, Von Jenkins, welcome to the show. And now here go Barbara right to my in the ass. I can't. Y'all are violent. What?
It was the first 20 minutes, ain't it?
Yeah, we got some intervention programs we can start sending some of these listeners to, man. I can't with them. Hey, this is the PG portion. We're gonna get to the PG-13 later. But yeah, the voting thing, like I said, it can't be understated. It cannot be pushed enough. And like I said, if you don't know, talk to some people. we all got these smartphones. Everybody who's watching this show is on Facebook, so you can look up a lot of things. Because if you got Facebook, that means you got the internet. Google some stuff and just look it up. But what we got to do, we do have to pay more attention to local elections. You got to start paying attention to judges who override stuff or who don't uphold the law that they swore to uphold because they have a secret agenda. The same thing with the DAs who play on our emotions. Mm-hmm. And when we get into the other section, that's part of what I want to talk about.
Right.
Being played for our emotions. That's the same reason we get up in bad relationships. We listen to what people say and we don't watch what they do. They say exactly what we want to hear. Then they screw us over, and we bitch them on and complain, but we don't get rid of them. And bad politicians are just like bad boyfriends or girlfriends. At some point, you got to say bye to their asses. Unfortunately, you can't do it for 2 to 4 years, but when it's time, you got to say bye. And if you look at, I saw a couple, and what they do, as soon as they get elected, they do some crazy shit. And what they do afterwards is right before election, they start doing some pro stuff to try to get you not to remember that because they know we got short attention span. And you gotta you gotta pay attention to the whole thing. Like I said, and I'm partly to blame, but the judge who gave the little white boy who said, the white boy that's convicted of rape, who said he shouldn't go to jail because that's not a good place for him, it's gonna mess up his life. We don't ever call his name. You know what I'm talking about, Roy?
No.
Well, and I'm sure some of y'all remember, Barbara should know, but yeah, some white kid got convicted of rape, and the judge said, it's unfair to send him to prison because it's going to mess up his life. Hold on, he got convicted of rape, and sending him to prison is going to so we don't want to send him to prison?
So we don't and that was it. But he messed up the life of that other child.
Yeah, but
that sure did.
But and it was just sex for her. So why should we mess up his life and send him to prison? So that judge and judges like him need to be called out. And they're not
reelected. They be gone.
Right. And no apology.
Right.
So what we gonna do is that one got 20 something minutes. I had planned on only giving it 5, but Roy inspired me to do more. What we gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break. And let's hold on. Anybody got any questions about voting for? Hey, caller. Thank y'all for welcoming y'all to the show. Anybody got any questions about what's going on?
No, but the biggest point, dude, we got a lot of people like, I vote all the time. I vote each time. I'm good on that. Upstanding citizens, they're about their business. You got to go deeper to those local elections, like you said, the judges, state's attorney, and it takes a little research. So, I'm not the best researcher, but we got to look into who's in our area because any of our little cousins, our little nephews or whatever get in trouble in the neighborhood, guess what? Those people are going to be giving out those harsh sentences. So we need to know who those people are, and not just the president and vice president.
And let me just say this, because Barbara made a point about why we keep bad politicians for the same reason we stay in bad relationships. We get comfortable with them, and we scared of the unknown.
Incumbent don't mean shit.
No, I said we get comfortable.
No, I know.
It does, because you pick to somebody who's been there, because what happens is they haven't personally affected your life, and you don't know nothing else. You're like, well, they ain't did nothing wrong as far as I know. Yeah. But when your property taxes go up, see, that's an elected official. When your street got all them potholes, that's another elected official. When your school system is rated at 3s, that's an elected official. When the voting places ain't got enough, that's an elected official. And we got to know this. How do you suggest to recruit a neighborhood? What do you mean recruit a neighborhood? I would say if you're talking about getting information out of your neighborhood, because where I am, and Ring is a great thing. For those of y'all don't have a Ring doorbell, I'm telling you now, go on and get you one. It lets you know everything that's going on in your neighborhood. But start a neighborhood watch. Even in the subdivision I live in, they got one on Facebook that they put out stuff, and you can ask questions, ask information, and just see. You'll see who wants to be informed, and those are the ones you go after. You can't inform people. You can't save everybody. Some people don't care. I can't make it a hate thing. Some blacks vote black, some whites vote white. It's racial either way it goes, and if that's what they want to do, there's nothing you can do about it. But what you can do is try to inform those that want to be informed so that we make wise decisions. There's some good blacks, there's some bad blacks. There's some good whites, there's some bad whites. I mean, you just can't get around. You can't get around that. How should we encourage and register Junebug now? And and that's a good question though. But what you have to do is let them know. One of the things we talk about, and y'all know, 2020 for me, y'all get me in trouble, bro. We supposed to take a break. 2020 for me was supposed to be about accountability and responsibility. When we talk about our heritage and all where we come from, and we keep wanting to talk about being kings and queens, what our ancestors fought for was for us to vote, not for us to talk about the fact that we could vote. They would have people to vote. They died so that we could vote. They died so, and this is for people in Georgia, they died so we could get that little stinking piece that says I voted, and we don't even give a shit. So how do you pay homage or respect to these people that you claim did so much for you, but you care more about, you care more about the NFL, you care more about the NBA, but you ain't got time to vote. You ain't got time to vote when you ain't got nothing but time. And I had some people say, hey, my job won't let me out work. And you know what? Your job shouldn't let you out work. You can vote damn near 90 days before the election. If in them 90 days you can't find a way to get off, come on now. You waited till the last minute because you wanted to leave work 2 hours early, and you still didn't vote. Because I believe they should make you they should give you something to take back to work if you take off the vote. Because I know people who took off the vote and didn't. But legally speaking, most jobs they have to give you time off the vote.
You better do it.
But that's still a shitty excuse. You can't wait till November. What is it? November 3rd, November the 2nd.
That's just us being better, man. Planning ahead, man. Don't wait till the last minute. That'll knock out a whole lot of them excuses.
And shit, that's what I need to do. I need to get you that video. There's a video with a guy with yellow hair. He talks about the whole voting process.
The voting process, so he can run that.
And we need to start running that on a regular basis so that people understand what the vote does. This is the last thing I'm gonna say before we go to break. When I see now people keep talking about what did Obama do for us, you know what Obama did for us? Exactly what we did for him. After we got him in office, we didn't do shit. That ain't no different than buying me a nice, pretty Jaguar, but not giving me no money to put gas in, because we didn't get nobody to help Obama out, because we didn't understand how the Senate and the Congress work. So we got him there, and then we stopped voting. Think if he'd have had competent background like 45 guy, if he'd have had more Democrats in, he could have done some more things. We don't know, because he was there for 8 years, and don't get it twisted, he had some of the best numbers going. He brought us out of a recession. So when people say he didn't do nothing, he did. And he didn't do nothing for blacks. Well, I don't know if you remember, but you was part of that group that wasn't working and they had no money. He did something for us, but in return, we didn't give him the right people to help his agenda.
Right.
Whether you like ACA or the Obamacare Act or not, it helped a lot of people. It didn't do nothing for me because I'm a retiree. I had my own insurance, but it helped a lot of people. Right. And it covered pre-existing conditions. Look at what 45 talking about now. His whole claim was that he was going to never get rid of pre-existing conditions, but the one he just signed is council's pre-existing conditions. So all I'm saying is look at what they doing and what they tell you versus what they do. We got to quit falling for what we hear. Once we have a history of them and see what they ain't doing, we got to make that move. All right, so hey, welcome all y'all to the show. I ain't finna get in trouble messing around with y'all. I'm too old to be standing in the corner, and Rodin gave me that look. So we're gonna take a quick break, watch these commercials. Hey, if y'all want to advertise with us, advertise on my show, advertise with my JBN, either shoot me an inbox or shoot an inbox straight to my JBN, and we'll get you advertised on the network. All right? Up until then, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back at you.
Be right back.
Now, you can't live in Texas and not have a good red meat blend. Texas Cowboy Dust is designed for steak and other red meats. It's out to be my most popular spice blend, made with onions, peppers, ground mushrooms, pink salt, and other spices. Texas Cowboy Dust also goes great with chicken, pork, vegetables, and adds a restaurant quality sheen to gravies and sauces.
Majesty is a premium health and wellness tea line focused on bringing delicious yet healthy tea blends to the community. Filled with an abundance of vitamins and antioxidants, we work to blend teas with exotic spices and fruits to produce scrumptious and wholesome beverages. So check us out at mymajesties.com. That's MyMajesties.com. My Majesties, an Urban Passport member.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food? Like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
Let's face it, shopping for insurance can be time consuming. That's why when it comes to your auto, home, and life insurance needs, make things simple and trust the experts at Allstate. They will help you get the coverage that fits your needs while helping you bundle your life, home, and auto policies. Bundling saves you money, sure, but it also saves you time, so you can enjoy the things that matter most even more. Contact me, Tammy Haynes, your local agent, for a free personalized insurance quote. Allstate, are you in good hands?
All text.
So if you respond to that, like you can put in there that you need to leave or something, and Roy can just take you off screen and it won't be nothing. And that's how we talk to each other. And can't nobody see that but us.
Really? Okay, yeah. So, but everything that I'm doing is taking me out of there. I'm not getting to my three little icons like up in the top right that gives you availability. I might have to do it this way just to get to that.
I remember that's when I had hope. He was saying, yes, we can. And everybody got
what up, W Fresh? Hey, man, come on to the show page. You know the rules, dude. Come to the show page.
More than enough to become the 44th President of the United States. He will be the first African-American President of the United States.
I've been broke all my life, but I kept hope all them nights. You see business in my city? Yeah, they closed all them twice. I was just riding down Salem, all them damn potholes I can't drive. I know y'all can fix it faster, but I know y'all won't try. Don't nobody care about us.
Hey, Unitron, you're on the wrong page. I need you to come to the show page.
12, I remember that's when I had hope.
Click on this link that I'm providing.
Everybody got less food stamps. And when I turned 21, I was still broke. I'd never vote again. I don't think I ever had a president make my life better. Did it all on my own. And no politician ever do a nice gesture. I don't even know the mayor's name. I ain't never seen her one time ever. Tell me how she gonna help the city. What I'm supposed to do, right?
Click on that link. You need to come join us on the show page.
He ain't never really gave it. Ain't nobody raised minimum wage. None of these jobs pay enough. They just wanna keep us broke, cause they ain't putting nothing in for us. This how all my people feel, but we gotta learn. We complained enough. Let me change it up. Everything I just said, everybody I know think the same way. See, they don't wanna see us vote, and we never do, so we see the same thing. But all our votes really do count, and they'll never really let it show. So now I'm finna break it down, cause if I don't, you would probably never know. First thing first, you know back in middle school when they taught us it was three branches of the government. We forgot it when we got older. It's the judicial, the legislative, and executive. But all we know is the executive. That's the mayor or the governor and the president. Now none of them three people make no laws. They just be checking them. The laws come to their desk and all they do is say no or yes to it. So when the news station tried to tell us that Barack Obama couldn't put us on, we was all salty at Obama when it was the Congress members all along. We gotta focus on the legislative branch. Yeah, they the ones that make the laws. Yeah, they the ones write how much food stamp money you get on the card. But when people that wanted to help us wanted the job, I know they probably lost. Cause we ain't even know their name, we ain't know their face, we ain't know it all. So the Congress or the State House, that's legislative, they make laws. So what we want from the president is what they do. Okay, y'all? See, they election every 2 years, but we don't ever even go to those. The Congress, they can raise minimum wage, but we ain't even really know it though. So you know how back in 08, when we all voted for Obama, we was all supposed to go back in 2010 and vote for the Congress. Cause they the ones make child support laws. They the ones choose if your kids at school get to eat steak or corn dogs. The State House make the court calls. So if the country failed, then you can't say it's them, it's your fault. Cause y'all ain't know to vote for Congress members that was for y'all. And they don't gotta leave after 4 years, and we just let them sit. See, they don't wanna tell you this, they want you to focus on the president. Now the third branch is the judicial, that's judges. They the reason why John Crawford and Trayvon ain't had justice. So when Meek Mill got locked up just for popping willies, we blame the judge. chance. Imagine life on the other side. Roads better, schools better, everybody get their license back. Grocery store food better, custody of your kids back. Homeless people get new shelters. If we gon' fix the U.S., we gotta start with them 2 letters. Me and you. Somebody told us that the government wanna keep us broke, but the only reason why those people in the government is cause we ain't vote. And I ain't talking about the president, I'm talking about the ones we ain't know. See, they was gonna try to keep it low, but it's gonna hurt them when they see the polls.
Every time you stay home, someone is making a decision about you, making decisions about the air you breathe, the water you drink, the food your kids eat, and how much money you bring home every 2 weeks. So every time you sit out an election, every time you don't show up because you think it doesn't matter, someone else is happy that you didn't show up, so they can make that decision for you. Vote.
I can't believe China's blaming the US for this whole virus thing.
What?
Yeah, so.
Okay, D, we back.
Alright, we back. So check that out. And you know, the best way to get us to do something is to drop a little funky beat with it. That's a funky beat. The message is so on point, and it explains what a lot of us didn't know about the whole voting process. And we gotta get more involved in it, and we gotta help our own causes. Like I said, we did the first part, and then we just kind of dropped the ball. We felt like we did enough, like we normally do, and we dropped the ball. All right. So that's my spiel on the voting. So last week we were supposed to talk about this prenup, but y'all got me so distracted. I got me so distracted and discombobulated that we didn't get around to it. So let's get into this prenup portion of the conversation. The rapper was Yellow Pain. It's already up there. Hey, what's going on, Darren and Crystal? All right. So now with this prenup, first of all, Roy, do you remember the poll results from last time?
Y'all did.
We did a poll during the show.
It was like over 75% yes.
They believed in prenups.
Yeah.
All right. So according to last week's poll, almost 80% of y'all believed in prenups. We're gonna do a show on the electoral voters because we've been talking about that. Me and Barbara and Roy and a couple other people because we got issues with the electoral vote. We're gonna talk about that though. All right. But almost over 75% of y'all said y'all would go for a prenup. Ladies, for real, how do y'all feel about prenups? And would you get married with or without one? Now, let me just give y'all a little backdrop. I don't know if y'all know who Steven Jackson is, but he's a basketball player. I think he was probably most famous for the brawl. He was part of that brawl in Detroit, wasn't he?
He was part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he that was one of the things he was remembered for. But anyway, Steven Jackson had this woman that he fell in love with. They had been dating. She had a couple of his kids. He knew he wanted to marry her, even though he had been told that she was trouble. And when I say that, he said that in one of his things, one of the teams he with wouldn't sign him as long as she was around.
Woo! The San Antonio Spurs.
Wow.
Say it again, Roy.
San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, so he ended up going to another team because he was in love with this woman, and he was like, "Hey, I'm a good ball player. What she got to do with anything?" Anyway, fast forward, he ready to marry this woman. He ready, to settle down, and he only had one condition for her: that she signed a prenup. She agreed, and if you get a chance to see the video, he talks about this. For a prenup to be signed, most time all parties have agreed to what's in it. Now it just need to be signed. So he went and got this prenup, gave it to her. I want to say 3 to 4 months before the wedding. She had one request. It was going to happen in Texas, which is where he's from, but she wanted a specific pastor. Stephen wanted his pastor who they grew up with, but she was insistent. He was like, "Yo, it's your day. So if that's who you want, that's who you want." So they going through the rehearsals. According to him, he done dropped almost $300,000, $400,000 for this wedding. And he asking her, "Hey, where the prenup at? I'm not getting married unless you sign the prenup." And she's like, "I'm gonna sign it, yada yada yada." And his boys come to town. They go to the bachelor party. She still ain't signed his prenup. Come day of the wedding.
She thought he was playing.
Come day of the wedding, everybody in place. He got his tux on, his boys that he ready, and he see a girl. He said, "Hey," well, he see one of his play mom or something. He said, "Hey, tell her I need that prenup. Ain't nothing happened without that prenup. I'm serious," and she still ain't signed it. So Steven broke with tradition. They asked him to go talk to her because Steven started taking his clothes off, started getting in his street clothes. He went and talked to her. And she coming up with 1,000 excuses about she forgot, but now she gonna sign, but she crying. Steven is a smart dude. Steven said, they told me this. You can't sign it while you crying because now you under duress. All the court's gonna say it ain't valid because you signed under emotional duress. Why couldn't you sign it all the time before now? And that was just such an amazing story. Damn, ladies, you is it that serious that you won't sign a prenup? I mean, Steven was making all the money. She ain't got a whole lot. But she didn't sign it. They didn't get married. Lo and behold, it was probably one of the best things that never happened to him in his life because she followed him from state to state trying to get child support. Now, this man, we can say what we want to him about him. This man paid for his son and his mama to come to California just so he could throw them a birthday party. She came to California, used his address to file child support orders because the child support is higher in California. And all she doing is just money chasing. And no matter what state he go to, if she come, this is what she had been doing. So I get it. And when I look at some of the memes, where I saw a meme yesterday, and a girl was like, no woman should ever have to pay for anything once she's in a relationship. And at the bottom it was like, men pay for it. And I was like, so your man is just an ATM machine? And she's like, nah, a woman should work too. I said, well, if a woman work, this says a woman shouldn't have to pay for anything. So what is she working for? I said, and this is why more guys, one, don't want to get married because too many of these memes are coming out that say we got to pay for shit. And, I hear the old happy wife, happy life stuff. Mm-hmm. But what's the oldest saying we got going? He who has the goal makes the rules. That was around way before happy wife, happy life.
Right.
I'm trying to understand how we keep devaluing men with these crazy things, because this is why that prenup is becoming such a thing with people. For those people who do have a little bit of money, they're a little bit paranoid. For guys that's got to pay alimony or they losing something, they're a little bit paranoid because they don't even want to lose what little they got chasing out the love.
Right.
It's a double-edged sword because part of me would never want a prenup because if this is love, and y'all know how much I believe about love and marriage, it's okay, but it's not that important. It's a business. But if it's love, why am I already planning for this to go wrong? Why is it I got to separate my funds?
Insurance. You planning in case. It's like insurance. You planning in case something go wrong.
And that's what it boils down to. And it's like, but then you got women who got money. How do they feel about it?
Right. I mean, should a man come in? We got the relationship where women have a little bit more money and everyone's trying to be the power couple and making that team. Is that woman going to put out more than what she has? I ain't going to start it, but I was talking to somebody earlier today who I know, just sold a house, got a big old commission for that, got the unemployment, about $3,000 from that, and this other stuff. And I mentioned to her something about, I don't know, about crawfish or some guy, you need to bring me something back from Louisiana. She told me, wait, you the man, I'm like, what? I'm like, but you got it right now. So how would that look going into any kind of real friendship if you got it, but I got it? And that's what a lot of dudes do. They scuffle, trying to use all their money to be with a woman and not even impress them, but to take them out, show them a nice time, be that gentleman, while these women call themselves being smart. And I know there's a lot of smart and very independent women, but then they keeping their money all to themselves and the brothers get broke. So I don't know, bro.
And it is a double-edged sword. I'm looking at some of the comments. Areas for the prenup, not area. They didn't really say what was in it, but she saw it before it got printed up. Unitra said she was a military spouse for 20 years, so she thinks she was entitled to half his retirement because she wouldn't be able to get her own job for 20 years, but she does believe in the prenup. And like I said, this is one of those things where it's different for everybody, and this is a personal thing. There is no one size fits all. I would think that if I was substantially wealthy, yeah, I would probably do it, just because I believe that successful marriages are businesses. But most of them still say pretty much the same basic thing. What I brought into the marriage is mine. Anything that we got during, we split, unless of course one of us gets caught cheating, or something to that effect. That's pretty much almost something. They got anything there about adulterous or abusive treatment that can give them more money or take money away. But just, that's really a tough conversation. As Roy likes to say, when we talk about uncomfortable conversations, prenup is an uncomfortable conversation. Birth control is an uncomfortable conversation. There are lots of things that we don't like to talk about. We just hope they work themselves out. Barbara says, I think each person should protect their assets and should be no problem signing it, just review it and be fair. Yeah, and that's when you have people who almost come from the same socioeconomic backgrounds. What if somebody has more?
Or a lot more.
Right.
What if either one has a lot more? Then what do you do?
Right. I mean, let's just take one of the best power couples who ain't got married yet. Let's take Oprah and Stedman. Stedman got his. Oprah has his and some more and some more and some more and some more. Oprah has more to lose by getting married than Stedman does.
Right.
And they're kind of atypical. But what if it's a huge gap? Kanye West and his crazy wife, they're both probably pretty much on the same level. But what happens when a rich person marries a commoner?
Right. Commoner.
Where do we do the love thing?
Right.
What do we do the prenup thing? Because I'm gonna use Barbara because she's here and she likes to harass me. But if I'm a billionaire and I decide I want to marry Barbara, who's $100,000, am I letting love overrule the situation? And because I do love her and I want to spend the rest of my life with her, yada yada yada, all the BS we tell ourselves. But what if Barbara is the same as Steven Jackson's girlfriend? She's just playing the game until she gets what she wants. She having my baby, she's showing me love, because she trying to get to the ultimate thing where she can come in, get in, stay with me for 3 years, then file for divorce and get part of what I got.
Woo!
And it's sad that we see this so much that a lot of guys are just totally afraid of this.
Mm-hmm.
And when people say, how come guys don't want to get into relationships, all they got to see is 2 or 3 of these, and that it makes them panic. It ain't that they ain't grown up yet. It's just that they're scared now because they don't know how to tell who's really in it to win it. Because what is the telltale sign when she's really there for you? Because you're a troublemaker, Barbara, and everybody knows troublemakers ain't billionaires.
Barbara got a lot of comments.
Barbara, she a troublemaker.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Barbara, I'm sexist. I'm old-fashioned. Sue me. So yeah, but and that's what happens a lot of times is that guys are getting scared off, and even to Barbara's point, wealthy women are being scared off because they don't want to do it. You got the Mary J. Blige incident where she had to end up paying child support, and there was another lady, not child support, alimony. Who was the other woman that ended up paying alimony? I know Barbara knows.
But it shouldn't be nothing wrong with women paying it if men pay it, if they want to be equal.
But I'm just saying, because now they're a little jaded because they don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what's the telltale sign when it's really love, or when they setting you up for the 3-year plan? They put you on super layaway just so they can get paid and move on about their business.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like where is that fine line? Because at some point most of us want to find love, but we don't want to find love at a cost. It's where's that fine line? How do you get through it? How do you get to it? Like I said, would I sign one? I would sign one. Would I require one? That's a hard question because it's an uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah.
We in the middle of laying down that half nigga. I mean, when do we have the conversation about the prenup? Do we talk about it before marriage? Do we talk about it once we become serious? Barbara, you neutral? What do you think, Ariel? What do y'all think? When does the prenup conversation come up? Because you got to have it before you get to it. You just can't say, hey, I love you, let's get married tomorrow. Oh, and by the way, here's this document I need you to sign saying that you won't screw me over.
Well, everybody wants to plan things, and women love to damn talk. The biggest thing we hate to hear is, hey, we need to talk. So, in one of them damn conversations is when the prenup needs to come up. You know, when everybody's in a good mood, nobody's stressed, nobody's under duress. But and you know, yeah, I say out to dinner. Take them out to dinner one night and say, man, we need to talk.
Because then you don't want them in a public place because they might show out on you.
Really?
Yeah.
Bro, all this time I've been with you, and you gonna ask me for free? The kids out there, you gonna ask me?
Right, you know, we've been having unprotected sex, and now you worried about this? Yeah.
The whole world. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Before marriage, while you dating, having conversations, it should come up the day after she says, I do. No, it's got to come up way before. After she said I do, it's done.
Right. Who said that?
Area replying to Area. Area says it's come up the day after. It's got to come up before that. I think Barbara says, I think as you get more serious, you should stop and talk about it. Doug says women typically bring up marriage first, so counter with the prenup discussion. Doug, are you trying to get some, or you trying to send her back home?
Right. What's your motive, Doug? What's your motive, Doug?
And you know, and it's one of them things that how do you gauge that discussion? I've never had it, and I ain't rich. I mean, I got more than $32. So do I need to have that discussion? You know, I guess it depends on what your perception is. That should be the conversation when you're dating. You should talk about everything. And see, you, Nitra, I would say that, but I got to put a clause of dating. To me, it's when you're serious to dating, when you're talking about becoming a true couple. Because to me, dating doesn't entitle you to a lot of stuff in my world. We're just dating until we become.
That's a step, but it ain't all the way in there.
Yes, so is that thing when you get up off the curb. It's a step to the mall, but you ain't finna buy the mall either. When you're acknowledging that you are a true couple and y'all are giving each other titles other than this, my little special friend, or anything that involves the word little.
Right.
And then that's probably when you start handling. I mean, she says yes before the wedding planning, and I think it should be done way before you even get to the. To me, when you start thinking about getting married, you should have that conversation then to see if it's even worth getting engaged. Because why get engaged? Only find out that don't nobody want a prenup, or one party does and one party don't. Then you got to break the engagement. But that's just one of them things that it works differently for everybody. I'm gonna go to my super producer. We're gonna put your picture up because Roy dates with a purpose. Roy dates with a purpose. So when you're dating with a purpose, when does a prenup come up in your conversation? Because you ain't casually dating.
Right, you trying to get married.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. See, I was doing what I said I was gonna do, and
you thought you weren't gonna get pulled? I told you was gonna get pulled into it.
You in here now, bro?
Right. So, you know, ironically for me, that's part of the reason. The whole prenup situation is part of the reason why I'm actually dating the way that I'm dating as well. And you know, we've had this discussion, D, on the private side, and you know, I have a very strong and firm belief of where I'm going to end up and what I'm going to have. I've already been in a situation where I've had finances be a major part in a marriage, in the sense that things didn't go, without putting too much of the business out there, things didn't go like they wanted to, and things were said that I was scarred from it. We're gonna go ahead and say it right. Just be with I'm gonna say it like it was. So it's gotten me to the point now that as I'm still single, and I have some very strong expectations of some things that I expect to happen over the course of the next 12 months. If I'm not in something by then, or if I'm not with somebody by then, it will be a conversation for me. It will be one of those. And you know me, I'm the nice guy. I'm the lover to death and want to be all in with her, and I'm gonna be all in with her. But if I feel like the only reason you're with me, or not even if I feel like my financial situation is one of the top 5 reasons that I'm with you, or that you're with me, yeah, we're gonna put that little piece of paper together. Because one, at this point, I'm not having no more kids. You know, it ain't but 2 women in the world right now who would get me to have a child at this age. So, and I ain't gonna be dating and getting involved with either one of them at this point for that long. So, you know, it would be that. But yeah, I think at this point I will start having that conversation. Now, if they catch me in the next 12 months, and of course be saying this out in public, I don't know yet now. But
Yo, they gonna be on you now, goddamn.
Right.
They try to get in early, bro.
Right, they gotta
just
get in
drop
for that.
that out there, Roy. They finna be on your line, brother.
But nah, you know, but I don't see a problem with it. And you know, like going back to the Steven Jackson situation, it was interesting because the young lady comes back with a letter that she posted to her page, just to be fully transparent with it. But I'm looking at the letter and I'm like, sweetheart, that letter could have been from anything. You know, he got people who co-signing on what he said about what happened the day of the wedding. So right now, you know, you looking kind of off. And the other thing about it, Dee didn't mention this in that story, is that he'd mentioned the part about that pastor being the pastor that Stephen wanted was the pastor he grew up with, was his pastor. When the girl first asked him about bringing this other pastor in, he thought it was somebody that she knew. She didn't even know this guy.
Right.
This was some friend recommended this pastor to her. Well, the day of the wedding, the pastor comes to Steven Jackson and says, oh, well, you know, I as a man of God, I don't believe in these prenups, and y'all just let God work it out. And I'm like, Steve was a lot more calm than I would have been.
You would have been.
Cause look, you're right. Cause I'm gonna be like,
no, he wasn't. You ain't hear what he was saying, pastor? No, he wasn't.
Well, I must have missed that part of it.
Say? I gotta look that up, bro. Whoa.
Yeah, I must have missed that part of the video because I would have been like calling him everything but a child of God, as they used to say. Because that's not his business.
I don't know what God told you, but my God told me to get this prenup signed. So I don't know what you're talking about. And the pastor tried to talk to him again. He said, listen, me and you ain't even in the same tax bracket, so we don't even talk to the same God. I just started rolling.
Okay, no, I remember that. See, no, that's what I'm saying. If it would have been me, I would have been saying some other stuff that wouldn't have been that calm and nice. Is what my point was. But yeah, I mean, I would, you know, if it depends on what happens. Because if I get to a certain point, if I get to a certain level, yeah, I would ask for one. You know, move it in. But see, that's one of the things with me. I want to build something with somebody. You know, even if they ain't been in the process but a little bit of time, I want to know that that's there. So. But at this point now, so you know, now that like Lyle said, I just stuck it out there now. So yeah, I may have to ask for one now.
Yeah.
And you know, like I said, it's a thing. And I want to say Ariel said it. And it may have been Barbara. A lot of this is determined by what tax bracket you're in the first place.
Yeah.
If you in a lower tax bracket, the prenup is only because you flexing. I mean, what y'all arguing about? Your Jordans? I mean, you ain't got nothing. She ain't got nothing. So, but you know, once you got money, it does start to matter. And depending on who you choose as your partner, the differences in y'all, so again, your socioeconomic status will determine a lot. Are you, whether you're the man or the woman, do you have on your Captain Save a whole cape when you pick this partner? Remember when we did the show, Roy, with the men? Yeah. And the guy was saying, I'm a drunk, I'm an alcoholic, I'm a drug addict, I don't have nowhere to stay. See, the woman that picks him has a Captain Save a whole cat because he's saying he ain't bringing that to the table right then. Right. So with him in that situation, he's gotten better since then. But at that situation, anyone who picks him is looking at something different. Is she got something? But if we all coming in on the same level, you know, a lot of it, you know, because we all think we got the right woman. And we think that things are going to be good, but if we're being honest, child support tells us it doesn't work like that. There are very few people who knowingly had a baby with a shitty person, but we found out that men and women both become shitty with kids. You know, not all of them, but we found out that this happens. So ain't nothing going to change with marriage. Your spouse can become a shitty ex-spouse and try to make life hell. So these things are slightly important sometimes. We good? Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we're still here. We got you.
Okay. I thought I was freezing there.
No,
so yeah,
you good.
Go ahead, Roy.
I say you're good.
Okay. So yeah, that prenup to me, like I said, and this was something that one of the listeners had asked me to talk about. I can see where it could be a deal breaker. I think it's a false deal breaker. If a woman gets mad when you bring the subject up to her, I think, I can't, if she goes on with I can't believe you asked me for this, or you saying you don't trust me.
That might be a flag for you right there.
Yeah, I mean, because who has realistically been in a relationship and not felt at some point what the meme says, you love me more for what my hand did for you that was in my heart. As long as I'm helping you, you love the shit out of me. But when I stop giving you things, it's this that you love, not this. And I would think that by this age, because most of us are over 26, have been in one of those relationships, whether we were the giving party or the taking party, but where it wasn't about the heart, it was about the hand. We found somebody who liked all the little things that we brought to the table that helped them out.
And
right, and opportunities are not gender specific, and that's why I said this goes with both sexes, men and women. Both of them have been shitty. Both of them have been great in certain situations.
Indeed, that's one of the things I was actually going to say is what you just mentioned. It's a big difference when you're talking about people in their 20s just coming out, 20s and even some of the early 30s. If you're still, because a lot of times people at that point, both parties are still trying to find themselves. They're trying to get a foothold in their professional careers or whatever it is they're doing. I mean, unless you just got somebody that happened to blow up, or like a lot of these professional athletes, the male, that's where the young guys run into these issues when they get, you get these professional athletes with these multi-million-dollar contracts. But at this point, I mean, like you said, we all grown people here. I mean, everybody at least over the age of 40 for the most part who probably listen to this show. And even if you do something in that particular sense, and at this point, I don't think people should have an issue with it, because we talk about one of the things that we done talked about in shows in the past, and that I know that you done talked about before. I hate the term, and I'm gonna definitely interested in seeing how the ladies respond to this, because this is one that I normally get in trouble on from some people. But that term, an independent woman. No, chick, you ain't an independent woman. You're an adult. If you got bills, who's supposed to pay them? If you making bills, who's supposed to pay them? That there's, they gave Beyonce doing all this stuff and the whole independent thing. And I said, that's one of the challenges that we have, because I think that's a mentality that they push to black women to give them, to further separate us. That's one of my things.
Exactly.
I think they utilize that to separate us as men and women, with black women. Because I've never seen it, or I've never heard of any other ethnic group of women being pushed to promote themselves as independent women. No, again, you are not an independent woman. You are a damn adult. If you got bills, it's your responsibility to pay them. You're not doing anything special if you're paying your bills. Who the hell else is supposed to pay them? But that mentality, the way that they present that mentality, I do this for myself, I do that for myself. If a man was to say something like that, I'd be like, they're like, well, you a man, you supposed to be independent.
Exactly.
No, I'm a damn adult. So, that's it.
But and that's the thing, it comes down to so many people wanting people to just take them at face value, like ain't nobody never been tricked. And Barbara saying that, at 40 and 50 ain't nobody got time to be tricking nobody. Shh, Barbara, that's when they good at it. They are good at it. And it's crazy when I see people, I can take care of this, I can take care of that. But I'm always amazed at why the perception is, and don't get me wrong, each situation is different, but why should I bring you in and I pay all the bills, and what you're going to provide to me is loyalty and whatever. I mean, don't take this the wrong way, ladies, but prostitutes are cheap, but they'll give you loyalty. If you pay for everything, they'll give you loyalty. I mean, at some point, we're supposed to be building together. Us building can't be just you having sex with me whenever you feel like it, but me paying for everything, because I can spend a whole lot less to get that loyalty. Because as much as we like to lie about it, and it's one of the things I truly believe, and if you know rich people, you'll see this. Money buys loyalty, period. When you got money, you can get almost anybody to lie for you. When you got money, you can get people to do almost anything for you. It buys the most loyal of friends because you got money. So just, what do you bring to the table? But again, it depends on what everybody wants. Roy said it. I've said it. Lyle said it. I want a woman I can build something with. Yeah, I got something. I want you to come in with something other than this is ladies' favorite thing, potential. I don't want a woman with potential. I need to see where you got some shit going. It may not be where you want it to be, but you need to be doing something to move up the ladder. And I can help you out. If you right here and you got 1,000 ideas, ladies, like that dude who my age who's still trying to be a rapper and don't want to work, I'm telling you now, dump his ass. He may be the first 50-year-old rapper, but up until then, he need to have his ass at UPS or FedEx working to help pay some bills. That potential shit just doesn't work when you get to a certain age. You can have potential. It needs to be a hobby while you're bringing in money. And and this is the thing, people. You don't believe in me. It ain't that I don't believe in you. I just believe in facts. The facts say you ain't made it this far yet. So, And we could have, what's the Tyler Perry movie where what's the Tyler Perry movie? Where the guy he didn't make it. Whatever invention he was, it took him 19 years to make it. Then all of a sudden he made it. Acrimony.
Acrimony, yeah.
That ain't the norm. That ain't the norm. But shit, if you got that kind of time to waste, then shit, do what you do. Do what you do.
Well, D, I'm gonna say this for the ladies out there. I'm gonna give them a little bit because I have always been involved with really amazing women that always, saw my potential, saw my dream, and wanted. It was probably for real, and they wanted to be me. I'm talking to for real, brother. Hey, said,
oh no, that wasn't for you. That was for Doug.
Oh, okay. I was about to cut me. Nah, I'm just happy to see, because I ain't had no big pension like some people. I've had to work hard for everything that I get. And I just happened to meet amazing women that were down to ride for you. And I'm gonna say that there's a lot of sisters out there that will ride for you.
Where the hell ain't? Why can't I find them? Oh, let me stop. Did I say that out loud?
Look, Roy. There's a lot of sisters that just want to hang out, look cute, don't have to pay for nothing, and get back. Have guys buy them designer bags. So I just want to say there is two types out there.
And loud, that second group is the one that I keep running into for some reason.
See, right.
And look, bruh. And the worst part about it, and Dia tell you, I make absolutely no bones about the type of man that I am, especially when I'm in a relationship. And I'm a Virgo. D used to call me a white lighter that's to the extent that he would use it. That if you ever heard him use that term, I was where he started that term at. I'm an affectionate person. I'm someone who does all the stuff. We talk about. I'm a gentleman, so there are going to be things that I'm going to do. But so I'm gonna tell this one story. I know D's heard this story before. This was the story that this situation was the situation that pulled me off of dating sites. And so,
yeah, you did. I've never been on dating sites.
Okay, yeah. Well, like I said, hey, look, getting it in there, man. But it was a challenge. I found some great friends from some dating sites because we didn't click romantically. But it was some sisters who we done hooked up with, and we still friends. But so me and this one young lady had been going out, and she had been saying all the right things, doing everything that was kicking it. We had gone out on maybe 4 dates at this point. Being who I am, I paid for all the dates, right? Now, during this time, I was on an extremely strict budget. And so I was like taking out, so I'm like, I got money for this, and this, because I was doing stuff with the company and all this thing. And I had my entertainment money because I was involved with the young lady. And so we had made plans on a Sunday that we were going to go out like that Thursday or something we were just going to go grab a movie, grab something to eat. It wasn't a whole lot of stuff. Well, that Monday, my daughter called me and needed some money for my grandson's after school program.
Right.
So, well, okay, that's what Pops does. Pops sent off, I'm on a budget, but I sent off my little entertainment money and give it my daughter. So I called the young lady up to tell her, it's like, listen, I said, my daughter called me and needed some extra money, so I had to send her what my entertainment budget was for this weekend. And so, I don't have, and I said this specifically because I was looking for, at this point, I'm doing a little fishing, trying to see what the deal is.
You would hope so when it come down like that
right.
She picked in. Okay.
I said, so I don't have the money for us to go out this weekend. I was expecting and hoping for one of 2 items for her, or objects for her to say. I was hoping for her to either say, "Oh, don't worry about it, I got this one," or be like, "Listen, let's just still get together. We don't even have to go nowhere." I would have been cool with that if she would have been able to just been like, "Let's just spend some time together. Let's just hang out." Like I said, we had been together. We had been out on 4 dates. We had been on the phone talking up, so we knew each other. She says to me, "Okay, well, when you get some more money, we can go back out again."
Woo!
Okay.
Guess what? Okay.
Yeah, right.
You won't get no more calls.
She called me a month later saying, "Hey, I hadn't heard back from you," and I said, "Yes, and you will not."
Guess why?
But when women got to realize something, especially again when we're talking about we're talking after the age of 40, where you got to realize we all have responsibilities. My kids are grown, but like I said, I got grandkids now. Then I also have 2 kids in college right now. So even if I have money, there's going to be times where I still have to do things to help my children. I have younger sisters with kids that when I can, I help them out on some stuff. We still want to see some reciprocation. I don't want to be in a situation where it's just about what I'm providing and what I'm bringing for us to go out. I want you to take me out. And not even, like I said, she didn't even have to take us out. She didn't even have to spend no money. She could have been just like, "Roy, I want to spend time with you." That would have been more impressive to me than anything else. Right. I would have been like, "Yo, that at least says to me, okay,
Roy,
you know
question?
What? Yeah.
What date was this on?
This was the fifth. This was supposed to be the 5th date. No, we had gone on 4 dates. We had gone on 4 dates, and I had paid for everything.
That was date number 5.
Yeah, this was date number 5, and I had paid for everything
so
up to that point.
That's an example of woman number 2 right there.
Yeah. So, yeah, she did have kids. She had kids, but her kids were older as well. Her kids were older and grown. But yeah, that's what we run into. I've had people who are upset because D'll tell you one of the other things about me is I live a very minimalist lifestyle right now because my vision for my company is the most important thing to me. So I don't need a lot. I'm a dude. Trust me, I can be a caveman. I'm good. Right. So yeah, I need to start I need to start hanging out with Lyle, man. I need you to put your number in the chat box so brother can hang out with you. You seem to be finding all the good ones.
Well, bro, yeah, I've been blessed. I know that. Look, I know that there's some other women out there. Look, I ain't had no big money to throw around, so maybe I ain't attracted none of the gold diggers. And I know there's horror stories out there. I just been fortunate. And when y'all really talk about dating, it seems like not y'all, but it just seems like it's trial and error. Most people I take out or go somewhere, it's like somebody I know. We generally like each other, and we decide, hey, let's go to the movies, let's go get something to eat. I haven't done the online dating. I mean, I always, I probably filled out 1 or 2 apps, but I never sent it or put it in or whatever, or never follow up. I've never contacted nobody online like that, and we set up something. That is really I don't know, kind of a little far-fetched for me. I'm more old-fashioned. I'm more like meeting people or know them, and then we decide whether we want to develop a relationship. First of all, when you date, you're already looking for a relationship, and you're trying to see if you guys are compatible. See, I start off knowing somebody, and we hanging out, running in the same circles. Maybe I like her style, she like mine, but we getting some of those initial things out of the way that are so scary and so whatever when you're dating, and certain questions you don't want to ask and stuff like that. Some of those things I may already know just by knowing the person, as a person. But I've been lucky. I ain't had too many situations. Or the woman, she want to go to some special place, and you decide another place. Well, I want to go to whatever the most expensive damn fish place in Atlanta or some shit like that. Or the Sundial. You go on the first date. I want to go to the Sundial. I like what D said about that. We haven't really developed enough to be spending too many hundreds on the first or second date.
Oh yeah, no doubt. The way we used to say, D, I don't know if I like you enough to spend that kind of money.
Right. I've heard his ass say that too.
and that's the thing, and Roy would tell you when we first met, I was a well-dressed guy. I looked like money. and women gravitated toward the suits, the ties, and all that.
All that, yeah.
But yeah, I had a woman tell me, you like the kind of guy to take women to 5-star restaurants. I'm like, you might want to get your eyesight checked. I don't take women to 5-star restaurants because I don't know you like that. I said we can go to, we can go to Burger King or something. I need to know if I like you, so I'm gonna start off cheap. I need to know if I like you. The more I like you, the more money I will spend. But I'm not trying to buy your affection. And that was one of them things that it was a curse and a blessing. Being a well-dressed man, and like I said, when Roy done met me, I walk into the club. I'm ahead of security, but I'm normally one of the top 5 best dressed guys in the club. I walk with an air of confidence, so people are driving me. Everybody want to speak to me. So no, I'm good at what I do, so I'm quite cocky. But I had to be careful of the women I was attracting because they fell in love with that image, of wanting to go out somewhere. It ain't finna happen. I like, hey, y'all, anybody who know me know I love McDonald's. We gonna go somewhere we can talk and we can see how the vibe is. If I like you, we'll go up the ladder. But if I start off taking you to a 5-star restaurant, how does the relationship improve? Because now I got to top this $200 event. I'm not finna do that with a newbie. I will do that with my woman. But with the chick I'm just dating, we starting out here. I ain't even getting to $100 total because I don't want the pressure of getting to know you. That should be a light, easy thing. We can go to Starbucks or somewhere and just see how that vibe is, and we can progress forward and start in that. But I want to get to a couple of my viewers right quick. Darren and Chris are on here. They're 33, and they've been married 7 years. And I asked them, did they have a prenup? And they say they've known each other since they were 7 years old, and they've been together since the 9th grade, which means they already old people. But they've been married going on 6 years. They 33 now, so dang, y'all old. But they didn't get one, but they've known each other, so if they got into bad habits, they probably saw it.
Ain't no prenup. They built everything together. They've been together that long.
I don't even remember 7. Hell, I don't even remember 33. But congratulations, Darren.
Yeah, congratulations.
You can't lose with a name like that. You spelled it the wrong way, but you got the right intent. Hey, Roy, can we take another break and can we play Yellow Pain one more time? Just cause. I know you like to get like a 20-second up thing. Felicia, welcome to the show. Yeah, I want to keep y'all guys focused on the voting thing. We're gonna take another break. I want y'all to listen to the voting thing one more time. And it's 7:17. We're gonna come back and talk about something else and see how you guys are doing. Okay. But we will be right back. Brian, you ain't got nothing. You don't need no prenup.
Which Brian?
The Creole seasoning is a sodium-free and sugar-free blend that's versatile enough to put on anything. One of the first blends I developed more than 8 years ago, the Creole seasoning has an unmistakable aroma, a bold flavor, and a little heat for character. Every time I open one of these bottles, I hear trumpets and big band music.
For my people that don't get to see me, trying to remind you who you are, just like in Romans 3. See, we about to blow across the world just like a day that's breezy. This motivation for the people and this classic Bible teaching say, make this for my people that don't get to see me, trying to remind you who you are, just like in Romans 3. See, we about to blow across the world just like a day that's breezy. This motivation for the people and this classic Bible teachings. Hey, motivation.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
The human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted Kever's voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KEAVERSVOICE.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
Now, you can live in Texas and not have a good red meat blend. Texas Cowboy Dust is designed for steak and other red meats. It's out to be my most popular spice blend, made with onions, peppers, ground mushrooms, pink salt, and other spices. Texas Cowboy Dust also goes great with chicken, pork, vegetables, and adds a restaurant quality sheen to gravies and sauces.
Majesty is a premium health and wellness.
You see business in my city? Yeah, they closed all them twice. I was just riding down Salem, all them damn potholes, I can't drive. I know y'all can fix it faster, but I know y'all won't try. Don't nobody care about us, and that's why I don't vote. Voted for Obama back in 2012, I remember that's when I had hope. He was saying, yes, we can, and everybody got less food stamps. And when I turned 21, I was still broke, I'd never vote again. I don't think I ever had a president make my life better. Did it all on my own, ain't no politician ever do a nice gesture. I don't even know the mayor's name, I ain't never seen her one time ever. Tell me how she gonna help the city. What I'm supposed to do, write letters? What I'm supposed to do, blame Trump? He ain't never really gave a, ain't nobody raised minimum wage. None of these jobs pay enough. I think they just wanna keep us broke, cause they ain't putting none in place for us. This how all my people feel, but we gotta learn, we complained enough, let me change it up. Everything I just said, everybody I know think the same way. See, they don't wanna see us vote, and we never do, so we see the same thing. But all our votes really do count, and they'll never really let it show. So now I'm finna break it down, cause if I don't, you would probably never know. First thing first, you know back in middle school when they taught us, it was 3 branches of the government. We forgot it when we got older. It's the judicial, the legislative, and executive. But all we know is the executive. That's the mayor, or the governor, and the president. Now none of them 3 people make no laws, they just be checking them. The laws come to their desk and all they do is say no or yes to it. So when the news station tried to tell us that Barack Obama couldn't put us on, we was all salty at Obama when it was the Congress members all along. We gotta focus on the legislative branch. Yeah, they the ones that make the laws. Yeah, they the ones write how much food stamp money you get on the card. But when people that wanted to help us wanted the job, I know they probably lost. Cause we ain't even know their name, we ain't know their face, we ain't know it all. So the Congress or the State House, that's legislative, they make laws. So what we want from the president is what they do. Okay, y'all? See, they election every 2 years, but we don't ever even go to those. The Congress, they can raise minimum wage, but we ain't even really know it though. So you know how back in 08, when we all voted for Obama, we was all supposed to go back in 2010 and vote for the Congress. Cause they the ones make child support laws. They the ones choose if your kids at school get to eat steak or corn dogs. The State House make the court costs. So if the country failed, then you can't say it's them, it's your fault. Cause y'all ain't know to vote for Congress members that was for y'all. And they don't gotta leave after 4 years, and we just let them sit. See, they don't wanna tell you this, they want you to focus on the president. Now the third branch is the judicial, that's judges. They the reason why John Crawford and Trayvon ain't had justice. So when Meek Mill got locked up just for popping willies, we blame the judge and not the city when they let her get voted in, cause they ain't know who to vote against. Imagine life on the other side. Roads better, schools better, everybody get their license back. Grocery store food better, custody of your kids back. Homeless people get new shelters. If we gon' fix the U.S., we gotta start with them 2 letters, me and you. Somebody told us that the government wanna keep us broke, but the only reason why those people in the government is cause we ain't vote. And I ain't talking about the president, I'm talking about the ones we ain't know. See, they was gonna try to keep it low, but it's gonna hurt them when they see the polls.
Every time you stay home, someone is making a decision about you, making decisions about the air you breathe, the water you drink, the food your kids eat, and how much money you bring home every 2 weeks. So every time you sit out an election, every time you don't show up because you think it doesn't matter, someone else is happy that you don't show up.
We are back. So y'all know what's up. Y'all enjoying the show so far? 7:30. And we've been talking about politics and prenups. Can y'all
Thank you. That would help.
Am I muted? I don't ever know what I'm doing.
You weren't muted. You just didn't have your microphone up. You're down, rather.
Oh, so can y'all hear me now? Y'all wasn't even gonna tell me. Y'all just got me just sitting here look like I'm lip syncing.
Bro, I can hear you. You sound fine.
I'm talking to the audience, not y'all too. Again, like I said, Darren and Crystal have been married since like forever, and they living in Denver, so they enjoying the good life. It's nice and cold though, so we know they snuggle on a regular basis. I ain't gonna ask them no personal questions because I'm too young for that. The last subject I want to get into is the public perception. You know, everybody has their own page, and you know, Brian, my boy, Brian says some stuff I don't agree with. Roy does, a lot does, but you know what always amazes me is when people come to your page and try to tell you what you should or should not post. That to me has got to be one of the most asinine, entitled things people can do. I've actually had people inbox me to tell me what I shouldn't be talking about on my show. Oh, you should be talking this. You should. Hey. One, you don't know me. Two, if you follow me, you probably already know I had a show on that. Your being late is not my fault. But I do shows. What's the name of the show again, Roy?
Random Thoughts.
Random Thoughts with DVP.
DVP, yeah.
It ain't Random Thoughts with what's on your mind. When people send me stuff, if we want to talk about it, I will. But the fact that you have a Facebook page means you can talk about whatever you want to on your page. And that's yours. Right, wrong, and different. If you love unicorns, if that's what you want to post about all day on your page, that is fine. We have got to stop trying to tell people what they should or should not do. My priorities ain't Lyle's priority. Lyle is a makeup artist extraordinaire. He cares about Mac. I care that Lyle does it right to make women look pretty. If Lyle starts screwing up his makeup, I'm gonna talk about him. But makeup is not my priority. Roy's priority is my JBN. We can't keep telling people what it is they got to talk about. When they bring up a subject, we can either engage in the subject. Even if we disagree, we can have intelligent disagreements and try to share information, but they try to tell people what they should or should not be talking about or should be thinking on their page is pretty presumptuous and asshole-ish. So, you know,
is that a word?
Yeah, I had to pop the top on a couple of cans of whoop ass because people came at me on my page. The fact that you're on Facebook means that you have a page. Take your shit over there.
Right. I don't understand that. I don't even understand the thing about trolls. You know, there's a lot of people who are trolls out there. And people look, you can tell when people want to befriend you. And you know, they friend because Facebook is a vehicle for exchanging pictures and seeing what you're doing and things like that. Keeping up with people in current events, right? You go to a mother's page and they got one picture, delete. Why do you want to be my damn friend? You don't got shit for me to see. You just want to troll on my page and look at whatever I got going on and have something to say about that. That's crazy, man.
But these are real people who want to push the agenda. As much as me and Barbara butt heads. Because Barbara's mean. She likes to fight. That's what California girls do when they shoot through New York first. But she don't come on my page telling me what I should talk. I mean, I have people come on my page telling me what I should be concerned about. And Roy's had it, and some of the other guys had it. People have their own value system, and they want to post about what they want to post about. Whether it's, you know, people done got on me for posting shows that were funny in serious times. People done got on me for not being funny enough. Why don't you talk about this? Why don't you talk about that? Why don't you have a show about LBGTQWXYZ? I don't want to. This is my show. It's my show. Roy's page is Roy's page. And when people give you valuable from their experience, Roy does radio stuff. Lyle does makeup and more stuff. When they start talking about that, you know what DVP got to do? DVP got to sit back and shut up because these are not DVP's area of expertise. Now, if DVP don't want to hear about radio or makeup, DVP all he got to do is scroll up or scroll down and move on. But to ask him, why you always talking about Mac? You know, the white man got you controlled, you selling his Dude, I'm so tired of these people. there was a post in one of the groups I'm in, and it said something. It said nowadays a man would rather hit a woman than fight another man. True. And I get it, because this new 21st century coward will hit a woman, but he won't say nothing to a man. Look at some of the arguments on Facebook. Guys will go in on girls, but when another guy checked them, they go in on the girl again. But the dude that commented said, yeah, because that's what white people taught us to do. I'm like, how the hell did this post become racial? It was a sexist post about how men aren't standing up.
Right.
And it's like people are so into wanting to push hate or their own self-pity on everybody, because can't nobody be happy. You think you happy, but you don't know what your girl doing when you ain't around. And guess what? I don't have that kind of time to worry about what she doing ain't around. Because when I ain't around, I'm doing some other shit. As long as she do what she's supposed to when we're together. Oh, yeah, all women cheat. All men cheat. All people. It's like, don't y'all have a life?
I hate when people say that.
Ain't you got something else to do? Go ahead, Roy.
I said I hate when people say that, because I don't cheat.
And you know, and it's like I'm just watching people do it. You know, my area of expertise is what it is. I was a cop for 22 years. When Doug and other people, even Roy, tell me to start doing this show, to give people, to tell them the true ins and out of law enforcement, and then people want to argue with me about what I saw, what I know to be true. I don't care what you saw on Law and Order. I don't care what you saw on Chicago PD. I don't even give a shit what you saw on Oz. Those were TV shows. I'm telling you what's real and how people, you know, Roy had me doing this, we've done it, how people are getting away with certain crimes because they're mischarged. And I'm telling people, this is because you're emotional. And the DAs, the people I'm telling y'all to vote out, are playing your emotions. They're giving you what you want, knowing it's not what you want. Knowing it's not what's real. You know, your kids want candy. Why don't we give our kids candy all the time? Because it ain't good for them. And you make that distinction. Elected officials don't. They don't give you what you need. They give you what you think you want, so they can say, well, I gave you what you asked for, even though I knew what you was asking me for was bullshit. And I just try to bring that out. Bring awareness. When somebody sends me something, I go back to the state law, as I did with Brian, and I tell people, your state says this is illegal or this ain't illegal. That's all I can do. Well, it should be illegal. I ain't got nothing to do with what it should be. The question was, is it? It's not. Move on. And you know, and it's crazy how people don't want to accept your professional expertise in an area based on something that they believe. Well, I heard this. Well, I heard that. Okay. I'm telling you, here's the site, here's the code section, here's whatever it is, this is it. And you know what somebody told me? Well, how you know that's true? What? I mean, I just posted for you to go read it. Oh, but we don't know who wrote it. They could have made it up. Dude, you don't know if you were truly born on what day that you were born on. Somebody signed to all of that. We just taking everybody's word for it. My mama was there, and I, you know, for y'all religious people, don't get mad at me, but I'm like, is this the same mama that told you Jesus was white? When clearly in the book, he's always not been white. That mama, I ain't mad at her, but most of us who are over my age got the white Jesus thing from a book that doesn't have a white Jesus. It's like, why are you sitting there arguing about stuff just to try to prove a point that can't be proven? Hey, this is where you can go to read. We don't know what's true, but when we like something, we make it be true. We make, how many times have we made Uncle Tom mean something that it doesn't mean? If you read the book, you'll find out Uncle Tom was a good black who took a beating for other blacks. Yeah, he shuck and jive to save lives. And we call somebody who looks out for us Uncle Tom when we really mean to call them Sambo simply because we won't read the book. How did they get lost in translation? But my point is, when you go to somebody, when, ladies, if y'all in the metro area, I'm going to say this even though he ain't said nothing about it. If you're in the metro area, if you inbox me, we're going to have some contests. Lala's going to do some makeovers. And we're going to do it just like this because Roy can split the screen. But Roy can't question Lala on his makeover tactics. Roy, what do you know about makeup? You know that you like to see it sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, actually, I'm not as big of a fan of makeup, but yeah, it's all right. I ain't got no problems with it.
But when they're right, you like to see it.
Right. I'm going to break that down for you and for the rest of the world also. You know why? Because as we talking about big things and the bigger thing, it's the philosophy. And it's what we're geared to see. Now, usually like the girls we see in Jet, Ebony, all those magazines, right? They have on makeup. They look beautiful. I remember back in the day we used to have a Jet centerfold. We couldn't wait till the Jet come out, so we could take that centerfold out and put it on the wall, right?
Right.
But what we see now is everything on reality TV. Reality TV and being a professional. When you look in a magazine, Mademoiselle, any of those top five, you don't see them type of eyelashes. You don't see that dark, crazy makeup. You don't see that sculpt. No. Good, clean makeup, which is what I do, is what you see. But people, they always say, well, I don't like it. No. What you don't like is it done wrong. And that's what we see most of the time. But then when they see it done right, oh, man, that looks, oh, my goodness. You know, so I got some crazy reactions that I received from ladies on, you know, like what I do. But I want to get you, you know, right? Because you might got a young chick who likes to take care of herself, you know, young lady, and spruce it up. But don't knock her because of the job that you seen out there. And you like, no, I don't want you to ever get like that. As long as she got her soft and subtle. It's so crazy, man. I was watching one of the reality shows, and one of the little chicks was on there. I was like, I'm so glad that whoever I'm dating don't have 2 or 3 or 4 wigs and hair just laying all over the damn place. I mean, I am a hairstylist. I do wigs, but I was just like, I'm glad I ain't got to go through that.
Now I will say this. I know Darren has mentioned Mac a couple of times, Lyle. So I don't know if you got some sort of deal or contract with Mac. But if you're gonna do makeup, brother, I got like 3 sisters that I know that actually have their own line. We gonna definitely hook you up with some of them. So and at least look check the products out.
Look, we gotta figure out how can I, because I got a makeup and more line coming out. I can get some advice from them to, you know, bring mine out to more fruition or add different products. So that's what it's all about, man. Networking.
And you know, but that's what we got to do, and we got to let people live their own life. It's 7:30, and we're 7:40, and this is what I'm in the show because I know this is going to take us at least 10 to 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we know about COVID-19. We know what we know, which ain't a whole lot. We know. Before people start talking, look at viruses. Viruses adapt. Viruses are like people. If you look at people, where we came from to what we look like now, we adapted to our surroundings. Viruses do the same things. They are hard to predict. Now, whether you want to wear a face mask or not is a personal choice. It's reckless in this guy's opinion. It's reckless in some of the professionals' opinion. But some of y'all think it's your God-given right. Do what you want to until you are around others. There's nothing in the Constitution that says you can put others at risk recklessly because you want to. Well, they don't know this. You're right. They don't know shit. Well, it only kills this many people. Let me tell you why people are afraid of COVID-19. Because it has no cure. Because there is no known cure. There's no known, they don't know nothing about it. It's the same reason that we fear serial killers. If we look at the DC snipers, it was 2 guys, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Does anybody remember how many people they actually killed?
Not exactly, no.
Let's just say they killed 12.
Right.
12. How many people live in the DC area, DC, Baltimore, Maryland area? Quite a few. So how did 2 men shut down 3 fucking states by only killing 12 people? Because that ain't even negligible. And if you understand that theory, you understand why this is so scary. Because when you don't know where it's coming from or when it's going to strike, that is what makes it scary. Other than that, nobody should ever be scared of serial killers. They don't kill enough people. The man who killed the most, I think, is some guy who actually in Georgia. I want to say he's responsible. They're giving him responsibility for like 90-something killings. That sounds like a lot, don't it? But we've had more people die from that and something else. So I hate when people make these dumb analogies. Oh, it's only killed these many people. And it keeps killing. It ain't like the flu. You can get a shot for the flu. It ain't like a car wreck. You know what I'm saying? A car wreck is an accident. It ain't like HIV. HIV is what it is. We don't know anything about this. So and I hate when people keep trying to make that analogy or comparison saying, oh, well, the flu does this. Ain't nothing killed like this. So be respectful of other people. If it ain't what you want to do, stay your ass on your property. But when you want to go out with other people and shit, be mindful of them. Because we don't know how it's being transmitted. We don't know who's asymptomatic. You know, I'm a military guy. Were you in the military?
No.
Okay, in the military here, we think they always experiment on us. So yeah, I do believe I probably got a certain level of Superman in me. But until Mother's Day, I hadn't seen my mother in almost 6 weeks. I self-quarantined for 5.5 weeks because my mother has a compromised system. She's been self-quarantining. She ain't been nowhere. My daughter has a compromised immune system. So I just stopped going to work because I don't want to take no unnecessary risks, which meant I couldn't even go see my mother because, I was still going to have to pass stuff. I just didn't want to take no chances. I could have caught it in that time when nobody know. And if you're asymptomatic, they don't know how long you can still carry it. So to be on the safe side, there was nothing more than anybody who knows me knows that I love my mother. For me to go 6 weeks without seeing my mother was killing me. But was my need to see her and cure her that great? I mean, we talked on the phone more. I tried to get her to use the video phone thing. But what is it that's so important? I'm seeing people, we got to make money. Well, if you're dead, you ain't gonna make no money. So what's so important that we got to go through all of this and we want to denigrate people who want to be safe? For those of y'all who don't want it, get together, have a party, do the herding thing. Work together. For those of us that do want it, leave us the F alone. Some guy was like, man, take that mask off. You need to smell the fresh air. Dude, you don't even know if I got tuberculosis. People were wearing masks way before now just to protect other people. So now we're so stupid. We want to judge people who want to be safe. And dude telling me to take my mask off, but dude, you don't know if I got it. The only reason we know who has it is because they come forward. Because HIPAA says doctors can't tell us who got it. The family or the person has to tell us. And we don't understand that narrative. When it first came out, people of color especially, black people can't get it. It's melanin prevented. Ignorance. And then it came, and karma came and knocked the shit out of us.
Because we the highest 80%
But remember now, when AIDS first came out, what did we say? It was just for gay people and not for black people. And what happened? This shit came like a strong wind because we let ignorance rule our lives to our detriment.
Yep.
Because we can prevent a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And that's why people get mad. It's a lot of y'all who are undercover Republicans because y'all claim y'all think 45 is stupid, but whatever he do, y'all do. He don't wear a mask. Why should I wear a mask? But keep that thought in mind. So you'd rather do what he do, even though you complaining about him, but you're doing the same shit. So Sequel, I know you're gonna vote for him. When he gave that $1,200, I know he just bought your vote, even though that money won from him. Because I seen people stupidly saying that he sent the money. Because if you got a direct check, the check was signed by him.
That don't mean shit.
But some of your cousins believe that. So when people are trying to give you knowledge, if you don't like the knowledge, leave the post. When you got people who are giving out false information just to get likes, leave the post. I told people who live here, who live in Georgia, and Georgia's what I know. I had a couple people telling people, you ain't gotta pay this because you can't be evicted, yada yada yada. That's not what it said. Brian Kemp never said anything that said you weren't gonna get evicted. What the law says, and it's everywhere, is that if your landlord or whoever you're doing business with takes government money, you can't be evicted. So if you ain't got a landlord who's getting government subsidies, he can still put you out. I got marshals who put people out, and they said, well, Keisha said we couldn't get put out. Keisha is a city mayor. Mayors don't run shit in the court system but traffic. But so-and-so said, I said, so go tell so-and-so to give you somewhere to stay, because I tried to tell y'all, read what it says. We love for people to give us what, if they say what we want to hear, we ride right behind them. But we don't do research into it to make sure. Because when the guy first put the thing up and I told him to, post it, he posted the petition with 800 signatures that folk want the governor to sign. The governor works for the state of Georgia. You think 800 signatures is really going to get his attention? 800 signatures is only going to get the principal of a small school. That means that's a lot of people. But for everybody else, 800 people ain't a lot of people. 800 people to not get put out. And he already know that out of that 800, 300 y'all don't even vote. So he don't even care. But, And it's crazy. You know, we did a show Saturday. Me, Roy, Barbara's here, Felicia's here, trying to put out some misinformation and trying to give people facts. Sometimes you got to go to people who will tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. And I will say that sometimes we don't even want to tell people the truth because we don't want to have an argument with them. So we just say we don't know. Because sometimes it just ain't worth it. But when you got people who trying to give you stuff, not just saying stuff that you want to hear, not just saying stuff for likes, you just gotta accept it, or just stay on your stupid bus and just keep getting fooled and keep complaining. But the information is there. You got people who are posting stuff. You got people who do actually conscious posts, and they make you think. And sometimes you can be in a good mood and they bring you down. But they're giving you vital information so that you can do better. Felicia like talking about this. She don't post it. I'm act like I don't see it because I can't read. 52% of U.S. adults are functionally illiterate. Functionally illiterate, which means they don't understand compound sentences. You know what I'm saying? Anything outside of "What's up, shawty?" and "Can you cash out me?" They not getting. They not getting, and it's sad because this is who we leaving a lot of stuff to. Roy getting old. Hell, I'm already old, a lot older than me. So shit, he don't even count. And as we move on. As we move on, we leaving a generation of people who are illiterate, and they don't want to know better. We have to do better about picking mentors. I mean, not mentors. We got to do better about picking leaders and putting them in a position to excel. And as we move up, we have to. No matter how tired we are, we have to promote what's right. And those that come will come. Those that don't. Fontella says it was a damn setup. He feed that money to everyone because he knew we were lacking. And with that being said, they opened up the predominantly back areas where we fell for it and went shopping without masking that part. Well, and Fontella, let me just say this. And this is the only beef I had with that, because white people, and this is strictly racist. You don't ever see white people sitting on the steps or in the house and they doing each other hair. They go to hair salons. Black people will let random people do their hair. White people, them salons they go to, they were packed too, because that's what white people do. They don't let their sister do their hair. They don't let their next door neighbor do their hair. That's a black thing. So, but the trick was, and I keep telling people this, why would you believe it's safe if the government ain't open up? The driver's license bureau closed, the courts are closed. They telling you it ain't safe. They not finna put government workers at risk. Hell, if they could have found a way to close the jails, they would have.
More money when they off the job. That's why. But in Tennessee, actually, they had a 4-part plan where they were coming back to work in increments, but they put all the most populated places like the nail shops, barbershops, and salons at the end of theirs. Ours was at the beginning. That's what was so fucked up. At least we would have had 3 more weeks of where it broke down to be opened up last. But that was so crazy. And, you know, I'm affected on all 3 ways. The school that I work at, the hair and makeup that I do, and I'm working at Mac at the counter in the mall. They shut down the malls, the stores, so I was totally affected.
Right.
D, let me jump in.
Would you rather be unemployed or dead? I mean, you know, it's a small price to pay.
And D, let me jump in on that comment.
I wasn't going back too soon or taking no risk. I wasn't mad about it either. I'm sit home and do what I need to do. So no, I'm good.
I wanted to say something on that too, because that was one of the things to me that frustrates me about the stuff, because I'm one of those people. Do I believe that there is a serious problem with racism in the system in America? Yes, I do. But at the same time,
that was an example.
I think,
that was an example of it.
But see, that's what I was about to say.
Money and opened up the malls so we can go out there, be back together, open up everything that we like, barbershop, hair salons, and nail salons. That's what we do more often because we're more concerned about looking good, all of that.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. Just like Darren said, though, people got to realize we're not the only ones who go to those places. And this is the part that I tell people, and I think most people miss. This really isn't as much about race. Race is the second or third issue. We have a group of people in control of this country who are what I call elitist. It's about the tax bracket that you're in. Rich people sent money to poor people so that poor people would go out and spend money. Black people, Hispanic people were not the only ones who got that money. Just like Darren said, white folks went to the barbershops and salons.
The most spending type of people out there, though.
Yeah, but see, that's that. This is one of Bilal. Here's the thing, though. Hold on. Let me say something, because that's where this is where this becomes a problem. And see, this is something that I need people to remember. Martin Luther King did not get assassinated because he brought black people to the forefront and got black people voting. Martin Luther King got assassinated because he started bringing poor people of all races together. And the elitists knew that if they were to come together, it was going to completely screw their system. Just like D just said, because we were having that debate, I think I was having that debate with somebody on another page because they did a post about it, and they said they are doing video conferencing for Congress. They're doing social distancing for Congress about opening back up cities and places so that people can go out. Think about that now. They're doing it over. They're not meeting in Washington. But they want to tell you it's cool and it's safe for you to go out, but they're not going out. These are companies, just like they said, who benefits the most from these places? Because let me give you two other things, and these are specific to your industry, especially when we talk about black people with nail salons. I mean, not black nail salons, but beauty salons and barbershops. Here's what y'all got to realize. While we were on shutdown, all of those people in the hair care industry could get unemployment. As soon as they open back up the states, you no longer qualify because you have the ability to go work now, regardless if anybody comes. So now they could stop giving you money for what you could have done. This was all about pulling money away from these people who were trying to hold on to more of their own money, and that's the elitists and the very wealthy people that we're talking about. Because I'm gonna tell you, this is something that I've been saying, because I do one of the things that Darren doesn't talk about, but I don't know if he even remembers or knows. I've actually been a political consultant for 20 years. I've run statewide gubernatorial campaigns. I've run statewide senatorial campaigns and stuff like that. I've been engaged in major campaigns. These people, when they first started talking about shutting stuff down to this extent, the government, instead of sending everybody $1,200, which is the new $600, they had to do better than, I think, was Bush or Clinton. They gave everybody the $600. So they had to do better than that. So they're going to drop you $1,200. They could have done one simple thing that would have made all of this stuff easier for everybody. If they would have suspended, and they did it partially, but they didn't do it completely. All they had to do was suspend mortgage payments, rent payments, and car payments for 3 months to keep everybody in, so that people wouldn't have to worry about stuff. And they could have given everybody food stamps for those 3 months, and it would have cost less than what they're doing now. And you would have been able to do that, because now everybody is in the same position. Because so when you're doing a mortgage, that means your landlord no longer has a mortgage, so he doesn't have to worry about getting money from you. Right. They could have done that stuff. They chose to do what was going to push groups of people out who want to spend money. They talked about it. They said when people at Walmart, managers were talking about how they came in when they first started releasing them checks. Guess what sold out in the Walmart first? TVs. Managers on Walmart were talking about how people came back and said, well, the first thing folks was in line to buy was TVs when they got their stimulus check. Because we're missing it. This is not about, overall, it's not about black and white. This is about rich and poor. And that's where we're missing it. And just like they say, that's where we get emotional on stuff, and we lose that. Because we think, like he said, look, I cut my own hair. I don't. My barber. I love my barber, but I don't need him. I'm a bald dude. I take the razor and bam, bam, I'm good. So going to, but we'll go and let our barber come to the house. White people go to beauty salons, barbershops, and all that stuff way more than we do. We just don't realize it, because the barbershop in the white community doesn't have, the barbershop and the beauty salon in the white community doesn't have the connotation of being the community gathering place that it does in the black community. Unless you're in a small town, that's why places like Supercuts and the other one, come in and they have so much success. Because white people go in to get the business and get done and get out. They want to do it. Your average white person isn't cutting their own hair. But black people, we go to the barbershop. That's where we're meeting. That's where we're able to have our discussions. We in the salon. That's where the ladies get the latest news. And you done been in the chair. You done been behind the chairs. That's a social place for us.
That is what happens. But I wanted to give you a point when y'all say that the white people go just as much as we do. I realize that, and that's true. But what does that take away from what they're doing when they open it up for us? Because they know that more of us are going. If they going, cool. They don't care how many of us are infected or how many of us die off. That's what I said when I said it's a trap, and they are doing it and set that money out to lure us out there because they knew that we would take advantage of that, hit the malls, and all those things.
But and here's what we can't do though. And see, this is where we become preoccupied with our importance. And I'm gonna stick with this. It's not more of us. It's what we see because we're in these areas. If you'd have went up to Alpharetta, if you'd have went up to where Perimeter is, you would have saw there were a lot of lower income white people. You would have saw there were a lot of middle income white people. They spend way more money at Supercuts than any local barbershop that we got. You look at the lady in Texas who opened up. Listen up now. The lady who opened up in Texas, what color was she? She said she couldn't afford to let her people be out of work. It was a white woman. We keep wanting to make everything be about us. And it is about economics. It's about the lower income earning people. And to a big extent, we are that group. But look at what we're doing. We're going to the store to buy shoes. We're going to Walmart to buy TV. We're not spending our $1,200 effectively. We have some people who learned to spend that $1,200 on investing. We're just the shittiest group because we don't want to know anything, and we digress. People who had trouble paying rents and stuff, they could have put that money to the side because some of them ain't paying $400 and they can't pay it, and they're going to get put out. So the experiment wasn't necessarily with blacks; it was with poor people.
Right.
And we just happen to be in that category. But look at how it affected Indians. Look at how it affected Hispanics. We can't keep negating them because we want to be the victim. We are a victim, but a lot of it is we're victim of ignorance, and we won't get past that point because we like to be. What I always tell Ernest, we can't keep claiming that we kings and queens, then being victims. It don't work that way. So we got to figure out where we are on the totem pole, and if we're gonna be kings and queens, then we got to start claiming stuff and telling people to do better. I talked to a couple people. I'm gonna do a show in a couple of weeks about investments for people who got it. The Barbaras, the Felicias, this is the best time to refinance your home. And because they was telling us that, but now banks done changed the rate. If you don't have a 700 credit score, banks don't even want to talk to you. Whereas before they would talk to you with a 640. See, so having the money won't even cut it for a lot of people now. These are the things that we have to learn and educate ourselves on because it's out there. But we're too busy thinking that the world revolves around us when we don't get out. Because like I got friends, I actually got white friends. They was doing the same shit in some of them little slum white neighborhoods. They was crowding stores. They was out there, but we don't see that because we don't live there. And that's part of the thing that we have to stop doing. We have to stop saying what they do or don't do when we're not around them. Hell, I know people who won't even get white Facebook friends, so we don't ever know what they're talking about. But they know what we talk about because we talk about them. You don't see them talking about us because they don't promote their lack of knowledge like we do. We love to tell people how dumb we are. We love to go the picture at the Walmart where the guy buying a 70-inch TV in a car that it won't even fit in. What the hell was you thinking, dude? Who buys a TV to tape it on top of their car? I mean, but that's what we doing. We buying shoes. We went at the store buying food. We're doing other things, and we don't realize. We think we're the only poor people around. We are some of the poorest, but we are not the poorest. We are not the poorest. Indians by ratio, by economics are the worst treated. But we don't want to give them credit because that means we can't be at the bottom of the barrel, but we kings and queens.
So what's our next step to flip the script?
The next
so that we can help educate people more.
You can only educate the ones that want to be educated. I can sit here and get Fontella and Barbara and the Darren and Crystal to tell people stuff, but people gonna want to do what they want to do.
So how do we reach more people?
Well, that's what we're here for.
You got to know. You got to get your circle, and people who want to come along. It's like Harriet Tubman said. What she say? I could have saved more slaves if they would have known they were slaves. She could only save the ones who wanted to be helped. And that's what we got to do. We have to pick the ones who want to help them, and let other people see us doing good. And maybe they'll want to jump on the train. But some people, as much as we don't want to admit it, some people like depending on other people and other things. And they ain't going to do no better. Some of our mothers refuse to get on welfare. Other mothers can't wait to get on it. It's a mentality that we got to attack and see who's viable. It's just like playing basketball. When you picking your team out there on the court, you know it's 3 guys who can't shoot. They want to play, but you don't want them on your team because they just can't play. They just can't. But hey, when ain't nobody left, and you got to pick one, you got to take a chance because at least they out there want to play. But picking a guy with the talent who want to just highlight himself, is he good for the team?
Yeah.
He ain't good for the team.
Role players.
You do better off with them other 3 guys. But yeah, we gotta, and see, Felicia's saying there are folks in her area who are more concerned about being able to go hiking and sailing than going to the mall. They want to get out. It's just that when they get out, we don't see how they get out because we're from a different mindset. And that's where we got to change how we keep changing the narrative, make us be the victim of victims. Please believe a lot of these changes were made because the governor, Kemp, and these other governors were getting pressure from voters about they want to get out the house. They weren't concerned with us. We happen to be unintended consequences because if we all die, get sick, guess what that means? They got to go to work. Guess what they're not prepared for? They're not prepared to do their own work. They just didn't realize. They're like, damn, they had to do. Damn, we gonna kill ourselves. They don't need to do nothing special for us to kill us.
AD,
we do that just because that's what we do.
AD, let me jump in on something and to give a point.
It's 8 o'clock.
I know, but I want to jump in on this point to something that you just said that people need to understand. We got to look at, if you go back and look at the states, I want y'all to go down party lines and look at the states that have opened and look at the states that have not opened. Y'all got to remember, Brian Kemp won in a Republican state. We've always been Georgia has been a Republican state for years. But like D said, 50% of the registered black voters in the state of Georgia didn't vote in that last election. The people who voted for him, them folks want to get out. They want to get out. They're part of that group but because Atlanta is the metro city that's in Georgia, you see how people of color are acting in those major areas. But you look at all these other states, and you see all these white folks out there with the guns and all that kind of stuff doing that. See, they're not going to do that kind of stuff in Atlanta. Those white folks are not going to do it. They may do it in Bainbridge. They may do it, in one of these little small towns down, but they're not getting the news down there. They're getting the news in Atlanta. Those states are Republican states. Most of the states that have opened back up are Republican states, and they were back on the line again with their president. Again.
Right. With their president.
Stop giving these people unemployment. Open up all these industries so that they have to go back to work and they no longer can be on our rolls. That's I'm telling you. Yeah,
well, California has been one of those. They send me, I'm gonna be happy.
Right, and you know when it came out, I told people, I said part of the reason that he did what he did was to cut down on unemployment, because the minute he opened places back up and they had to go back to work, they got to save some money. So I believe he picked the lowest tax paying bracket of businesses to help his cause.
Yep.
So hey, with that. Right, I don't know what happened. It looked like we disappeared.
No, we're still there. Just go ahead and close out. We still see everything.
It came back up. All right, so it's 8:03. I appreciate you guys for hanging with me for a couple hours. I'm gonna let Roy and Lyle give their outros and how to keep up with them and catch them, and then we're gonna do what we do and get ready for another week. So Lyle, go ahead and tell them what you want to know about you.
Hey,
I see they coming down here to get this makeup.
Yes, sir. Makeup and more. I'm on Facebook, makeup _ and more. Instagram is makeup _ and _ more. It just separates the word. And when you spell more, it's always with 2 O's like my last name. I'm going to be doing some Facebook Live, some tutorials, and some thought process. Before you even get into the makeup, we got to straighten your mind out. Too many of y'all been looking at reality TV, so we got to get you right.
All right, and before I give my information, I'm gonna say something. Lyle, I don't have a problem with makeup. I just need to make sure that what she look like in the morning when she wake up is what I fall in love with. So she, as long as that's good, she can wear all the makeup she want to.
I don't try to make women look different. I just give them the best version of them.
I got you. Cool. Well, hey, like I said, Ari, you just said something. The show is national. Actually, not just national. We actually have people who engage and deal with us in other parts of the world. This is the Jericho Broadcast Networks. Like I said, glad to have my brother back home. To doing what we do, because I've always believed that he has some valuable things to say. You can follow us on social media at myjbn, the number 1. That's MYJBN, the number 1. I've got an open page. I'm always open to get new friends and do stuff, so y'all can hit me up. Evans is my last name. It's EAVINS. So if you see me on there, you can do that. We're always looking for support. Like he mentioned, we have definitely advertising. If you have a business, we can give you, and not only do we have an advertising program, but if you follow our program, you will see the results. We actually have a program that's $480 for 12 months. So that's an entire year. And we will put you across all of our programs and platforms. Our motto that we're using and we're running with, we've got 2 of them this year. We've got change the world, which is what we want to do, because we have to continue to have these types of conversations. Please check out, it's on DVP's page as well. Check out the conversation that we had this morning about mental illness. It was amazing. It was powerful. Y'all get in on that. But we have other stuff too. We got series that are going to be coming out. We'll be relaunching our radio station soon. Gospel music, urban music, 24 hours a day doing it. Going back to the full-blown talk radio station as well. And our other one is Come Grow With Us. And, we want your input. We want you guys to be engaged in some of the process. We've got game shows getting ready to come up, all that. So if you have products and services and you're willing to do some giveaways, get at us. We'll give you advertising, do game shows, all that kind of stuff. We're about to change everything. We're about to change what your thought process is of internet-based broadcasting. And the last thing I'm going to say when I say that particular part of it is what most people don't realize. The Jericho Broadcast Networks is the oldest commercial black-owned internet-based broadcasting company in the country. We were podcasting in 1998 before it had a name. Our primary product is Black College Sports. As they say, we are not what everybody else is. There are, as they say, there are levels to it. And we are not on the same level with our goals and what our missions are that you see with most of the people. So, thank you, D.
And of course, I'm your host. I'm DVP. I do this every Wednesday, and we're gonna probably start doing a show on Saturdays. That is a serious show about things, events, political things, just to keep everybody abreast and up to speed. I want to thank you guys for spending time with me, even you latecomers, Cleopatra Jones. We're gonna make this happen one way or another. We're gonna get a team that's agents of change. You can come with us or you can sit behind. I ain't gonna drag nobody. If you want to come, we're here. If you wanna help me, this is what I need for you to do. I need for you to like the page and follow the page. It's totally free. All right. If you're interested in doing the show, get with me. I can tell you all the great things that Roy can do for you. I'm happy to be back. We got space for you. If you need a little help, hey, I will help you through the process. I didn't want to do this. He got me started. It was supposed to be a 90-day event, and it's been almost 7-8 years now that I've been doing this. If you got a product that you want to advertise on the network, let me know. If you want me to do a personal ad for it, you got to send it to me. Let me test it out. I will give you my honest opinion of it. And if it's a good product, we'll work out something where we can do it on the show. Up until then, like I said, if you guys got anything you want me to talk about, inbox me on my personal pages, on the show page, and we'll do some research and get into it and go from there. All right, but y'all know what it is. I appreciate y'all, Mr. 976. You my boy. I appreciate you.
Hey man, appreciate you, bro. Roy,
I'm see if that jump is real. Roy, can you put the MyJBN thing? I tried to tag it, and for some reason it wouldn't come up.
Jericho page. But yeah.
If not, area, it will all be on here after the show. I'll make sure I put out everything and answer all the questions for the ones I didn't answer during the show. Of course, I'm Random Thoughts with DVP. I'm RTW with DVP on Instagram, and I think it's RTDVP on Twitter. And of course, we got a YouTube page. So like it, follow it. Everything is free that I'm asking you to do. So show me some support. Just like it, share it. Ask your friends to like the page, follow it, and that's what's up. So until next week, my empty glass, y'all know what it is. Peace, popcorn, and chicken grease. And we out.